That was a very, very nice early season series win for the Seattle Mariners. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome into the Seattle Mariners post game recap. The Mariners win the series in Arlington. They beat the Rangers 4-3. They move back over 500, back into first place. And as far as early season wins go, I know it's April. We shouldn't jump ahead to anything, but that felt like a really, really good series win for the Mariners, especially in Texas. They were just destroyed there last year, 0-6. And I don't know if any of the games were even competitive, if I'm remembering correctly. Before I dive into this recap, do me a favor, hit that like button. You guys know how much it helps out the channel. And if you're new here or you're just lurking, hit that sub button. I'm 9 away from 3,100 subs. Would love to get there by tonight if we can. Couple quick notes before I dive into the post-game recap. I will not have a series preview up for the Mariners and Diamondbacks. Unfortunately, Thursday, Friday are just my longest work days. If the Mariners were off today, I would have had a chance to do it. But unfortunately with the game, I just won't have time to get the post-game recap up tonight or tomorrow morning. I will definitely have all three, or excuse me, the series preview up. I will have all three post-game recaps. Eugenio Suarez will make his return. I think Paul Sewald's expected to be activated. So some old friends coming back to T-Mobile. And I will have a series preview up for the Atlanta Braves series. And Byron Murphy is a Seattle Seahawk. Very cool. Seahawks select Texas defensive tackle, Byron Murphy with the 16th pick in the draft. Love it. Seahawks need to beef up a little bit in the trenches. And we know how terrible they were against the run last year. Murphy's going to help there, and he can rush the passer as well. I have not done as much draft research as I'd like to. I'm really trying to dial this channel in and focus on baseball. I may have a draft recap up on Monday. We'll see. But love the pick. Love the Seahawks. Go Hawks. Byron Murphy is going to help tremendously. So super excited about that. Another thing I'm super excited about is Seattle Mariners beating the Texas Rangers 4-3 today. Just a really, really nice series win. And, we talk about it like the games in April, games in April mean as much as 1 September, right? They all count as one. I had a lot of people tell me that when I was saying, hey, be patient when they're 4-8 and 6-10. And I'm not saying anybody was wrong, but if we're going to go with that, then we should absolutely be excited about this win. And not only that, the Mariners play the Rangers a lot less now with the, balanced scheduling. You got a 2-1 advantage on them for a tiebreaker. Listen, I'm not trying to get ahead here and say the Mariners, well, we're locked in the division. No point in watching. No, of course not. A lot of baseball left. Rangers are a good team. They're going to get going. I still expect Houston. I think there's some legit concerns, but I will not count them out until they're officially eliminated. So long way to go. Of course, there's 100 and whatever games left, but every little bit counts. And, Texas is a perfect example. They banked in some wins at the beginning of last year. Had a little bit of a summer swoon, but because of that early hot start, they were able to regroup and get it going. Now, the Mariners aren't running away with anything. They're 13-12, but it feels good to have this team off to a better start, playing some good baseball here in April. The prettiest win ever? No, of course not. But when you're playing a team like Texas, I'm not looking for style points. Truthfully, in baseball, I'm never really looking for style points. And one of the criticisms of this team last year, I don't know if I fully agree with it, was that they just didn't beat a lot of good teams. Now, they did beat Houston a few times in Houston. I think they did beat some opponents, but for the most part, a lot of their wins, especially where they were on that big run, came against Oakland, Chicago, Kansas City. Now, listen, good teams beat bad teams, so I'll never dismiss that. But it's nice to see this team go on the road and beat a quality opponent. And an opponent that's been getting healthy. Corey Seager's back. Jonah Heim was back this week. Nathaniel Lowe's been back in their lineup. So this is a good Texas Rangers team. The Mariners went down to their house and took 2 out of 3. They, in a pretty evenly matched series. Game 1, the Mariners win by 4. Texas wins game 2 by 4. And Gins game 2 by 4 runs. I said that like it was a 2 by 4. And then game 3 was a close one that the Mariners found a way. That's what you got to do against quality teams. This is not about how pretty it looks when you're playing a team like Texas. So really, really solid series win for the Mariners. And I think all of us, would sign up for where this team is at right now. If you would have told us even before the year, I think I would have, if you would have kind of told me everything and been like, hey, this is where they're going to be. This is where the division's at. Here's a piece of paper. Do you want to sign it and take the 13-12? I would have said, yeah, especially in April, like that's fine. Because if you can hang around 500, a little bit above, you're one solid winning streak away from getting a few games over 500 and really starting to dial in the wins. And even better for the Mariners, they're in first place with that. You know what I mean? So they're not, no one in the division got off to a super hot start where they're trailing. They're in front. They could be the pace setters. Let's see. I predicted this team to win the division. So far through 25 games, they're in first. Will they hold that division lead? I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to go back and forth a few times. But all we have right now is the 25 games. And right now it says the Seattle Mariners are in first place. Talk a little bit about the injuries. JP Crawford was placed on the IL with the oblique strain. The good news is it's just grade 1. So he'll only hopefully miss about 4 weeks or so. I'd expect late May, early June to get JP back in the lineup. Listen, that's the best case scenario with the oblique strain. So, we'll take it. And, I know JP's overall numbers haven't been great, but one, he's a team leader, clubhouse guy. And he was swinging the bat a lot better, I think, in the last couple of weeks. It was kind of hidden behind Cal's hot streak and Julio getting going a little bit and how great the pitching's been. But JP was starting to play a lot better. I will say, I think the Mariners' depth is a lot better than some people think. I think Dylan Moore can hold down shortstop for a month and give you that 720, 725 OPS, give you some solid defense, good base runner. Yeah, I think Dylan Moore playing every day is going to get him a little overexposed and everything. He's obviously better in that Swiss Army knife type role. Swiss roll. He's better as a hostess cupcake. No, I think that's preferred and, not playing every day, but I do think that Dylan Moore can hold that down for a month. Leo Rivas was recalled from AAA. He'll wear number 76. So the Caballero comparison's already starting right there. Guy that gets on base, he can walk. I don't know much about Rivas, to be perfectly honest, but I have seen some Caballero comparisons. Maybe not quite the fiery attitude of Caballero, but if that's what he can give you, absolutely, that's totally fine. That is absolutely fine if Rivas can kind of play occasionally, give you that Caballero type production. Before he kind of tailed off last year, Cabby honestly was a little bit of a season savior. I know it sounds crazy, but he came up early in the year. Who was it that got hurt last year? Was it Wong, or was he just up because Wong was struggling? I don't remember what caused it. But he was a little bit of a spark plug for that team. Tailed off a little bit towards the end of the year and everything, but and I don't think Rivas is going to play as much as Caballero did. I expect Dylan Moore to kind of take over that primary shortstop role, but we'll see. And then hopefully JP's back late May, early June, and you survive it and you should be okay. Like I said, I think the depth is a little bit better with this team than it's been in the past. I wouldn't mind just with because Dylan Moore was kind of your right-handed outfield bat, essentially. Well, Haniger and Julio, but you're kind of platoon right-handed outfield bat. He's going to have to play a lot more shortstop. Rivas can play there and Dylan Moore can go out there to the outfield for sure. But I wouldn't mind sending Clase down and bringing up Sam Haggerty or Samad Taylor just to get you another kind of right-handed bat in there. Because here's the thing, like Clase's tailed off a little bit here. Listen, I'm not judging him based on what he's had, 19 at-bats or anything like that. But you're trying to get him and Luke Raley playing time. Clase has options. Raley doesn't. So that's number one there. You don't have that right-handed bat now for that platoon role if Demo is going to play shortstop primarily. So unless you want to platoon Mitch Haniger with Raley, then you're playing Clase every day, and I'm not sure if that's the best option right now. You could platoon Raley with Haniger, then Clase with Haniger, then Raley has to play every day. I'm not sure if that's the best option. And you can't platoon Clase and Raley because they're both left-handed. So you kind of have a weird dynamic that I don't envy Scott having to make these decisions. And plus you've got Clase, who's a legitimate prospect up at the major league level. And I just, so you want him playing every day. You don't want him sitting on the bench, but you also want to get Luke Raley going. I think it might be best to put Clase back in AAA and bring up Taylor, Haggerty, Cade Marlowe, someone like that, where if they're not playing a ton, that's fine. You're not worried about it. And it gives you a right-handed option. I know Marlowe's better from the left side, so he might not be the best person in that scenario, but like, I'm not going to care if Cade Marlowe has to sit 4 to 5 days. You know what I mean? So I think that might be an option to go. And again, like I like Jonathan Clase. I'm not losing faith in him or anything. But I think it just for the roster construction right now, that might be the best. Let's actually get into the game. I'm 10 minutes in this. I haven't talked about the game. I thought Luis Castillo threw the ball really well today. And I know that might come as a shock because early on the command control wasn't perfect, gave up some hits and stuff. But against this Texas lineup, and I've talked about the last two games, not only is it a really good lineup, you've got Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim. I don't need to go through everybody here. Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford. But they are so good at laying off pitches that are just not perfectly placed in the zone. They spit on some really, really good borderline pitches. That's why I didn't get on Logan Gilbert for any command control issues really on Tuesday. I thought he spotted the ball pretty well. The Rangers were just spitting on things. Was Castillo as dominant today as he was against Colorado? No, of course not. Colorado stinks. Their offense is atrocious. That's not taking away from Castillo. He was great. But you're probably not going to have a lot of 7 shutout innings with no walks, 10 Ks against the Texas Rangers. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. That is a really, really quality start for Castillo. And huge that he got him that extra inning. I thought he might be done after 5. Goes back out there for the 6th. I think that was an impressive outing. Lowe got him for a home run. Josh Smith got him for a home run. You tip your cap. He wiggled out of some jams. I thought Castillo was just fine tonight, or today, I should say. I know some people might be a little critical of the command control. I'm not against Texas. If that was his start against Colorado, I might be a little bit more like, I didn't think he was perfect. But against Texas, that is absolutely, not only is it's 6 innings, 2 earned runs. No matter what, that's a good start. But especially against this lineup, I thought it was really, really solid. And Castillo gets the W. He's now won back-to-back starts on the year, and he's starting to come around a little bit after a slow start. Ryan Stanek pitched 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It wasn't earned, 2 Ks. I thought Stanek was fine. I know I feel like I say that every night with these relievers. You guys are probably tired of hearing it. Dylan Moore had the error. Jonah Heim's hit just kind of got down the third base line. Stanek didn't do anything wrong in this game. And then Semien got him for a base hit. That was solidly hit, but I'm not going to be mad at Ryan Stanek for giving up a hit to Semien, who truthfully probably wouldn't have even batted if Dylan Moore had made the play on the first grounder. And then, like I said, Jonah Heim just kind of snuck one in there on the third baseline with the defense shifted over a little bit. So Stanek was fine. Gabe Spire is so good. I mean, inning and a third, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He gets Corey Seager to finish the 7th, a dominant 8th inning. My gosh, Gabe Spire is top 5 lefty reliever in baseball. Again, I don't have all the names in front of me. If you know more about the other teams, let me know. But I mean, the guy's been ridiculously good to the point where, like, when Brash and Santos come back, I still want Spire getting, and he will, but I still want Spire getting big, innings in the late innings, essentially, and pitching in the big spots. He's not a guy I'm looking like. Stanek, probably push him back a little bit. He's been fine, but you can move him to more of the 6th, 7th, or when you're down a run or something like that. Spire absolutely is turning into a relief ace. And truthfully, I mean, you could make a case he's the best reliever on this team, even with Brash and Santos. That's how good Gabe Spire's been. Just tremendous. Cannot say enough good things about Gabe Spire. And it's funny that they picked him up, on waivers for the Royals, and the Royals had so many bullpen issues. It's amazing they couldn't find something for Spire, but it's a testament to the Mariners coaching and their development with how well they do with these relief pitchers. And then Munoz closes out in the 9th. Good for Mooney. Quick 1, 2, 3, 9th inning. I know some people have had some issues with Munoz and closing and stuff like that. Listen, I'm not big on this team has to have a closer. I'm using my best relievers in the tough spots here. And a nice 9th inning for Munoz. I know he blew the game in Colorado. I will still go back and say Charlie Blackmon, first of all, take away the runner at second in the extra innings because that's not on Munoz. Blackmon hits a little dribbler with an exit velo of 30. Tovar had an inside-out swing that snuck into right, and McMahon grounds out, but, JPS bobbles it because he's trying to come home to get the out at home. So I didn't think he was actually even that bad in that game, and he closes out 2 games here in Texas. I know the first one's not technically a save because it's a 4-run lead, but nice series for Munoz here and finishes it out. Let's look at the offense. No walks today for the Mariners. 11 strikeouts, 5 hits, 4 runs. Not the greatest offensive performance. In fact, I actually think this is one of their worst ones in a while, but it shows you how important the long ball can be too. It's the great equalizer. It's kind of like the 3-point shot. You can be off your game offensively, but you can, knock a couple balls out of the park with the runner on, and you got 4 runs right there. And that's what the Mariners did today. Julio 2 for 4 with a couple singles. Mitch Haniger 0 for 4. Haniger did have a bullet in that first inning that Langford kind of took a bad route on, but that went back and made the catch. Haniger slumping a little bit. I get him playing against a lefty. He should be in there against lefties. Would not mind him having a day off tomorrow against Zach Gallen. The dumper 0 for 4. Welcome back, Cal, after the dental surgery. Thought he might get another day off just to recuperate a little bit, but Cal said, "You're not keeping me out of the lineup." The ultimate warrior for this team. 0 for 4. Cal's been red hot. I'm not going to jump on him for anything. Ty France 1 for 4 with a 2-run home run. That was one thing I meant to say yesterday. I'm talking about Ty, like, ready to see some power numbers too. I know Ty's not like a 30 home run guy, but he's a capable 15 to 20 home run guy. So good to see the power from Ty. Talked about Ty yesterday. The Savant page would tell you that Ty France is pretty good. And the batted ball data, the profile looks really solid. The results would tell you no. And what do you go with? Listen, you can't ignore results at the end of the day, but I don't think you should ignore the batted ball profile either. And, Ty with the 2-run home run here today. So right after we talk about that, and Ty had a good series. He had 2 hits yesterday. Would have been nice to get that third with the runners in scoring position, but a pretty solid series for Ty France. And, I think doing enough to certainly keep himself in the lineup, especially some other guys struggling. But, we'll see. I do think Ty is someone to keep an eye on that could get on a hot streak here. Polanco was 0 for 4, did have a nice catch on a little soft liner off the bat of Durant, I think in the second or third inning, kept a run off the board. Dylan Moore 1 for 3, had the double. Did he have a stolen base in this game? I don't think so. Did have the double and had the error. Demo's probably going to get most of the reps at shortstop, which he should. He's the best option to play there. And again, like I said earlier, I think that's fine. I think Demo can hold that down for a month. And do I think it's worse than JP? Yeah, I think JP's a better player, but I think Demo can hold that spot down and the Mariners can be okay there. Mitch Garver 0 for 3. I don't know what to say. Garver's just got to start hitting. I don't think you can just bench him. I don't know what you're going to do at DH. I mean, you could give him some days off and Haniger can DH. Rayleigh could play first. Ty could DH. But it would really behoove the Mariners to get Mitch Garver going. That would be the best thing to have happen for this team. So I'm just going to keep saying until it happens. I don't mind him being in there, especially against a left-handed pitcher. And I don't even mind him in there against righties. He's got a proven track record of being a good baseball player. So I think he will turn it around, but we are getting to that 1 month period and it hasn't just been bad. It's been like he's worse than Colton Wong. At least Wong could play the field and give you some value. I don't know how good Wong was defensively, but it's been a rough start for Garver. Luckily, the team is, pitched so well and had some other big guys or some other guys step up big. But Mitch Garver needs to get going. Can't say much more there. Luis Urias 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run. This third base platoon's working out pretty well. I will not toot my horn on that, but I liked the trade of Campbell for Urias. Campbell to me is he's fine, but kind of a generic reliever. I think there's 100 Isaiah Campbells out there. There's a lot of Luis Urias out there too, but I will always usually trade the reliever for the everyday, or at least the position player. I know Urias is an everyday player. The power looks good. He's hit a couple home runs. The throwing arm, I didn't see anything today that made me suspect of it. But, the defense seems fine. The range seems okay. The arm's the only thing that doesn't look great. And Rojas has been outstanding. Listen, I don't expect Urias and Rojas to both OPS over 800 or anything like that. But, having this platoon has been solid. They've done a nice job. They have given the Mariners a lot of value so far this season. So far, a win for the front office here with this one with Urias and Rojas. Again, it's April. No one should be taking any victory laps on anything yet, but it certainly looks like that's going to work out so far for the Mariners. And then Clase 0 for 3 with the strikeout. Clase in a little bit of a funk as well, kind of a spark plug the first few games, and tailing off a little bit here again. I wouldn't mind him going down. Just kind of like I said, for the roster issues, get Haggerty, Taylor up here, give you that more, give you that right-handed bat that can play a little outfield. Advantage to Haggerty too. He can kind of fill in that Dylan Moore role and play everywhere. That's all I've got for you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, unfortunately, no series preview for the D-back series. I do apologize about that. But a really, really fun series win for the Mariners. Got to feel good about this team right now. I think we're all feeling pretty good about it. Now a big homestand. The Diamondbacks and the Braves come in, the defending NL champs, and maybe the best team in baseball. Talked about this 9-game stretch, Rangers, D-backs, Braves. Sign me up for 5-4. You're 2-1. So, I mean, if you can go, listen, I don't want them to go, hold on, 2-1, 6 games, 3-3. Like, I don't want them to lose one of the series, you know what I mean? Or sweep one and get swept. I hope they can go 4-2 and win both. That would be amazing. But it's just, just to remember, if they do lose one of the series and they go 3-3 on this homestand, that's a pretty good 5-4 stretch against 3 pretty good ball clubs. So it would certainly be something that, we could walk away. Okay. Like they didn't get buried here or anything like that. Hopefully they win. Hopefully they go 6-0. Like, I mean, that would be amazing. But, it's going to be a tough homestand here with these teams coming in. But good news for the Mariners is, you got Emerson Hancock going tomorrow. Then you got Kirby and Logan. And you get to turn it back over with Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo against the Braves. So hopefully they'll all be on their games and, going up against teams with really good pitchers as well. So it'll be a battle. Great series win. For now, just enjoy this. Enjoy this really nice series win in April. Mariners win it 4-3. Remember to hit that like button. Hit subscribe as well. Real quick, I want to shout out the channel members. Think about becoming a channel member if you want to. Saturday will be the next members only live stream. Super excited about that. No giveaway for that one, but we will get to hang out and watch some Mariners baseball together. So shout out to my members. Bring them up here. We got Mark Squire. Appreciate it. Hope to see you there on Saturday. Y2K. Hope to see you there. DW. He was in the last stream. Mariners Facts. He was also in the last stream. Trevor Hiddle, the contest winner. Yeah, I know he got his prize yesterday or today. So congratulations, my friend. William Cook, one of the OGs of this channel, along with Mr. Moses and the one and only Gunny Studios. Thank you guys so much for all your support for the channel. And not just the channel members. Thank you to everybody for the channel support. Have a great night, everybody. Go Mariners, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.